Welcome to the Savvy Podcasting for Entrepreneurs podcast, a place for podcasters to learn what's actually working in the world of podcasting and how to use their podcast to generate consistent leads in their business. I'm your host, Jenny, and I'm so excited you're here. Hey, Savvies. Welcome back to another episode of Savvy Podcasting for Entrepreneurs. So last week, I took the week off from releasing new episodes due to the Profitable Podcast Summit. If you attended, you know, but it's a summit that I hosted and it was so much fun. I had a great time hosting my very first solo summit, and I cannot wait for round 2 in February 2022. I know that's kind of far away, but yeah, if you missed this year and want to sign up for the waitlist for next year, or you just want to sign up for the waitlist for next year because you attended and enjoyed it so much, head to profitablepodcastsummit.com. I have the waitlist already available for you there. So make sure to go get on the waitlist so that you're notified when signups are ready. So before we dive into the episode, I wanted to tell you a little bit about my new masterclass, how to monetize your podcast without relying on ad sponsorships, which we're kind of going into a little mini monetization series. So I thought this was the perfect time to debut this free class for you guys. But in this free class, I'll teach my 3-step listeners to leads framework. And you can learn how to monetize your podcast from day one without having to worry about how many downloads each episode is getting, because that is a very hot topic. And a lot of people are like, how many downloads do I need to monetize? And with this method, you don't need you need a couple, but you don't need, thousands. So if you want to learn more about how to monetize without ad sponsorships, head to savvypodcastingforentrepreneurs.com/free and snag your seat today. And let's get into the episode. So making money from our podcast is the ultimate dream, right? We put in all this time and effort and deserve to be compensated for that. But if your only goal of podcasting is to make a profit, then you might want to reconsider starting a podcast or keeping it going. And let me tell you why. When people think of podcast monetization, typically they're thinking of ad sponsorships. And while ad sponsorships can be amazing for those that get high download counts or have a super niche audience, it truly is not lucrative for the majority of podcasters out there, especially us as entrepreneurs. Because if you're listening to this podcast, you are an entrepreneur. The title is Savvy Podcasting for Entrepreneurs. I mean, most likely. So, So ad sponsorships typically pay around $15 to $25 per episode. That's like a typical number. Obviously, people make more. But with podcasts that receive 1,000 downloads per episode within the first 30 days of airing, but $15 to $25 per episode, that's not a lot. So in the grand scheme of things, that is just not a ton of money for all the time and effort that we put into our podcast. Like, sure, it can pay for your hosting and maybe some other monthly expenses associated with podcasting, but is $100 a month on the higher end of things really worth sacrificing your integrity for? I'll let you decide that. But don't fret, there are better ways to monetize. Affiliate marketing and selling your own products and services can be a lot more profitable than running random ad-sponsored segments. I teach my all-time favorite way to monetize your podcast as an entrepreneur in the free masterclass I mentioned earlier. So if that's something you're interested in doing, make sure to sign up for the free class at savvypodcastingforentrepreneurs.com/free. And before I forget, I am also starting this new thing where I'll be hosting a podcasting happy hour on Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Central, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So if you guys want to join me, head on over to Clubhouse. It's on the Clubhouse app. I forgot to mention that. So you don't have Clubhouse, let me know. I can send you an invite if you have an iPhone. If you're already on there, head to Clubhouse and follow me at Jenny Suneson. So JENNYSUNESON. And then we can chat every single Wednesday evening on Clubhouse. And I cannot wait to see you there. So I hope that you guys are on Clubhouse, or if you're not, you want to be. And yeah, that is pretty much it for today's episode. If you want to check out the show notes for today's episode, you can find them at savvypodcastingforentrepreneurs.com. And I will see you in the next episode. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast player like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Stitcher, and leave a review. You can find us at savvypodcastingforentrepreneurs.com and on Facebook at Savvy Podcasting for Entrepreneurs and Instagram at Savvy Podcasting. Make sure to join our free Facebook community for podcasters by going to savvypodcastingforentrepreneurs.com/community and join in on the exclusive community just for Savvy Podcasting for Entrepreneurs listeners. I'll see you there.